the grace of God that kept it there. You know, we still pay Chinese to get information. Our senators are still using Globalcom. The president is using MTN. In a world that information security is what we are combating on, the country must begin to invest in its own data system to curb. It's very, very serious. We've not, to me, intentionally built a nation that is concerned about security. Our borderline is very porous. Are you aware that 1,400 of our borderline are unguided? Since 1960, we've been able to only guide 84 of the borderline. Nigerians cannot even identify who Nigeria is. Our passport can be taken by anybody. You know, we need a system. We need to build Nigeria to secure our country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Once again, please, let's appreciate this presidential candidate that are here. Now we're going to take a few questions from the stage. So I'm going to take... I want to mix it up. So the person in the middle, please. Yeah. So you're asking question on that section. Yes, please.
All right. Thank you so much. My name is Barry Avotu Johnson. I'm the national chairman of Nigeria Youth Democratic Party, that political party that gained international relevance during the NSAS period. Actually, I like to say that the reason why I came here was to do three things. And the first one is to look into the eyes of the Thief Nubu and their Thief Gu and the Peter Obi and let them know that they have no capacity to contest these elections, not because of the backing of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but the backing of the influence of the Nigerian people. We don't want them because they are part and parcel of failure. That is one. If you agree, say aye. Aye. It means it is done.
Sorry, I'm the moderator, so now you have lost your chance of asking the question.
Sir.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, President. Can we go to that corner? The gentleman in the front. Yes, please. I hope it's a question.
Yeah, it's a question.
Okay.
Straight to maybe Professor Grace, because inclined to technology. My question is, before I answer my question, my name is Rabiu Abdulhamid Jibia. I'm an advocate of social justice, and that's all. So my question is straight to you about the technology, modern technology, and as you can see, most of the youth in the country are into blockchain and digital economy. They are trying to, earn something into their pockets, independently, not from the government. But recent, that was last year, government, that through the CBN fiscal and monetary policy, came with a ban, outright ban on blockchain that is illegal. And recently again, they now came to say that it's in their budget to tax this industry. So it becomes laughable to me that how can government that is not in support of empowering the youth to make something out of maybe a global market.
Thank you. Please, Prof, you got his question, right?
Yes, you are coming to tax it today. So
thank you very much.
So please, when you win as the president of the country, which kind of policies will you implement that will boost this sector so that the youth can see some things to do instead of staying jobless?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is there a lady on the other side? Okay, the lady, please. And
thank you. Fumilayo Adesanya Davis is the name. Former presidential candidate, Mass Action Joint Alliance 2019. And my question to the presidential candidates here today is, when will our candidates be able to put themselves together? I'm trying to see this platform now with the open space, with Haj Atiku there, with that open space with Mr. Obi there, where Alesta is sitting. I'm trying to see Asiwaju Tinubu there. And I'm looking forward to a time when all of them will think to give us a unity government. I think Nigeria is in a mess. In 2019, I did an article saying, give power to the woman, and a woman is going to make everybody to work. I was promising Nigeria a unity government. I'm thinking of a time when the cream of brains that we have on this stage tonight will be able to liaise with the other elderly team and give us a unity government. Is it possible?
Thank you very much,
We
bro.
need to make this nation
Thank
to
you.
work for real. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So let me quickly come back to the stage. Professor Chris, before you answer, let me start with Mr. Shawore, if you have taken the break.
Yes.
Basically, will you support a unity government?
Well, the truth is that the major political parties are united. They always have a unity government. If you remember that when Buhari came, it took him almost 2 years to constitute the boards. In fact, by the time he constituted the board, some of the people that he appointed had died because they continued the PDP unity government after he left. Even later on, in their unity government, they appointed Jonathan to become one of his roving ambassadors, resolving West African issues. That's unity government. So the unity government you are asking for is for us, young people here who are clear-headed, to unite with the thieves. I cannot do that. And what has happened with organizing this? You have resolved the problem of the fresh and the old. If you want to finish them, as you have done tonight, just make the presidential town hall meeting past 7 p.m. They can't come. They're tired. They're sick. They're probably like taking their medicines as we speak. But we've been here. Yes, we'll be here because we cannot continue to hide away from the facts of health in this conversation. I will be the first person to admit that nobody has control over health. A young person can die and an old person can last. As a matter of fact, what we've discovered about Nigeria is that the older and more dangerous you are, the longer you last in Nigeria. You know, look at Obasanjo, Babangida, they know they die. You know, the Ganifa means Fela, they died in their 50s. You know, the good guys die in Nigeria. The bad guys, they just live forever. Yes. I don't know, because Nigeria rewards the bad and kills the good.
Thank you.
So, but the second aspect about technology, the answer is simple. You are not going to have a technologically developed country with analog-brained leaders. All these things we are talking about, whether we will allow bitcoins, and is simple. If Chris is the president of Nigeria, it's simple. If Prince is the president of Nigeria, it's simple. If he is the president of Nigeria, because they understand how this thing interacts. But you can never have a technologically driven economy with Tinubu. The man doesn't even know how to operate his phone, or with Atiku, you know, or even with Peter Obi, who doesn't run his Twitter account. I run my Twitter account. I'm sure that all of us on this stage, well, I don't know the rescue movement presidential candidate too well, but I know that Prince runs his Twitter account. I run my Twitter account. All the errors, grammatical that you see there, hold me responsible for it. But I can guarantee you that Tinubu doesn't know how to tweet. He has to tweet from WhatsApp to Twitter. That's how he understands it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. National Rescue Movement.
Well, I think I need to make it very simple. For me, the answer is yes. Now, how do I mean? Now, today we are here because we want to see new Nigeria. And like I said before, in your wardrobe you have old clothes and you have new ones. And some of your old clothes you don't want to use them, and at the same time you don't want to throw them away, so they're in your wardrobe. So between the old clothes and the new clothes in your wardrobe, there's a unity there, and they're not fighting. How do I mean? These other persons that we consider the old politicians, I think they can sit back and advise the younger ones. For example, a father in his home will not say, because I'm old, so there's no unity between me and my children. That is if he's a good father. So I believe that Nigeria can unite together, and either region or religion we can as well unite together. So unity is possible. But the only problem we are having with especially the ones we call old Nigerians is because they program their mind so bad to the point that they will never bow to what we call an accountability. And that's what the problem we're having in Nigeria today. For example, I'm sorry I need to deviate a little bit. Look at our insecurity. I've been asking one simple question. Who is the Minister of Interior? How come that the terrorists will go through our borders with AK-47 and nobody's asking to give account of it, what happened? In this country, there's no accountability. So it will be difficult for four of us here to truly unite with those ones who doesn't really care about what happens. But if they want to come on board as a father, truly we can unite together and work together.
Thank you very much. Prince Adewale, please.
The way our government is designed, our constitution, every government is a unity government. That is why you cannot become president without some plurality. You must win 25% in sufficient number of places. It's not that you use one vote to defeat your fellow person or your contestant, you are the winner. No. So unity government means that you cannot form a government without first winning election in majority of the states. Secondly, under our constitution, you cannot form a cabinet without bringing at least one person from every state. So it's designed. So unity is not the problem. But the unity of the police and the unity of the armed robbers is not the same. The armed robbers unite to rob and kill. The police are supposed to unite to catch the armed robbers.
What about when police unite with armed robbers?
So now that is what they are trying to now organize in politics, that you now get armed robbers and police union to now form an amalgamated union of night operators. So you are conspiring against the people. So what I can tell you is that the people who are in this government, we talk to them. The APC people, PDP people, we talk to them. We meet them. We have come out with some 5 observations. One, I find that they are very lawless. Even when we went to sign peace accord, they went and stole the seat of Showore.
That's it.
AAC, they went and sat on that on it because they want to sit in front. They are very lawless. They have no respect for Nigeria, no respect for institution. Second, they don't know what is going on. They don't know whether this is December or January. They are tired. We talk to them, they don't know what is going on. Even in their own campaign, they don't know what's going on. So they cannot run a government, except they come as traditional rulers or native doctors or something. But you can't give them work to do, they can't do it. So what is the use? The third is that they believe in power of money. They are buying people. They are buying media. So even when they are talking to you, they want to buy you. So they've met with me. 2 minutes, they are thinking of how they are going to give you money. So you know that these people have no conscience, they have no respect. So if you are a self-respecting person who can work for yourself, who know where you are going, they will be irritating you. Fourth point is that they don't love the country. So they have more partners overseas. So all they are planning is to carry your money and go to Dubai and to be agents of foreign companies and foreign looters. So we don't have the same objective. Lastly, they don't know anything about tomorrow. They are in their last days. So if you are talking about a 25-year plan, they are like, no, now. So that is why, it's not why we hate them. But you can't ask a driver who has one car to carry somebody go to Sokoto and carry another person go to Calabar. How does it deliver 2 of them? It's very difficult.
Thank you very much. And the last person to speak with us tonight is Professor Chris, please.
Okay. Quickly, let me start from the second question, the ICT question, the technology. Yeah, like Mr. Showore said, you do not expect anything from a leader who do not understand process to implement. We, in our generation, understand what technology has done and what the impact of revolutionized Bitcoin and blockchain technology and the rest of them. You know, and look at what happened to Chinedu Ochorom, the Nigerian guy in New York, who sold his app, Oopstop, to Apple for $1 billion. He's just a youth like you. $1 billion. Look at what Flutterwave is doing. the first financial institution that have crossed the $1 billion benchmark. Look at what Jackson, this guy that was Iroko TV, look at what they are doing. These are youths who has built upon the power of ICT to grow their network. The CBN recent policy that reduces the amount of money you can catch for POS business, you know that they've already created huge deficit on that employment line. So many POS guys. I was talking to Ope, the Chinese guy, said they already have close to about 1 million POS merchants. You can imagine what will happen to those guys. So many of them would not have that. So when we are making policy, we must look at the technology, look at how it affects our economy. So for us, we understand it. I'm also an investor in those regions of, I've invested hugely. And for me, it's a good one. And the youth of Nigeria should be encouraged to understand it. And for me, I even believe that our secondary school curriculum should start having Bitcoin technology, tech coding courses to build Nigerian youth to understand the future. You know, we are not talking about NFTs. We are not talking about, people are now selling virtual real estate. You know, you buy things online. Look at the Indian guy that bought the first NFT for $1 million, sold one for $70 million. Things are happening all over the world. So we need leaders that understand that. Secondly, collaborating with some of these guys. No. But more importantly, we must begin to build a system in Nigeria. The biggest problem we have in Nigeria is not just about the people. It's because we don't have a system. No saint can work in Nigeria and remain saint with the kind of system we have. I'm telling you. Because there's a saying that says that a just man in an unjust society is a criminal. In short, we have lived too long in corruption as a nation that if Nigeria have an incorruptible leader, they will kill you. Because the secondary, the religious, every facet of our nation has dwelled for too long in corruption.
Thank you very much.
So we must begin to build a system, have a leader that is ready to build a system and strengthen our dysfunctional institution.
Thank you.
That is all.
Thank you very much. But I'm going to quickly take you on your last point. You said, I almost quote you, to have an incorruptible leader in a corruption-prone place, they will kill him. Right? That's what you said.
Yes.
That's what you said.
Yes.
That's what you said. So why then do you want to be killed?
Listen, you don't listen. This today we're having a conversation today, and I was talking to my DJ. I said, if all the presidential candidates come together, all of us, it's not just presidential candidates, all the candidates, and I don't know, but I know it cannot happen. But if God makes it happen and everybody comes together and say, all of us, we agree that, which of course we are doing, and I know many presidential candidates will be doing, that this particular election, let us go in and nobody should come out. Let Nigerians vote who they like. And the person says that Nigeria might not come out to vote. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. You might not get it, but many of the people here might understand it. What I mean is this. Since 1966, or even far more than that, for those that know the Nigerian history, we've been running a nation that have been drenched in corruption. In secondary school, primary school, are you aware, even in, let's talk about education.
Right, I'm going to bring you to educational point, to stop it at that point. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to once again appreciate each and every one of you that spent time to have a conversation and to listen and to watch online of our 4 presidential candidates that were gracious to the Nigerian youth by participating in this National Youth Presidential Debate 2022 for 2023. On a last note, I would like Mr. Are you sure I didn't call anybody there? Yes. So I will just take one question from there. Right, your question, please, and it will be answered in 30 seconds so that other people have other engagement.
Your Excellencies and very distinguished Nigerians, I'm Victor Moro. I'm the President of Justice Now International. I am looking forward to a situation where we will redefine democracy and allow the audience to play critical role, because democracy means government of the people, for the people, and by the people. And in a situation where we have continuous traditional engagement like this, where out of 1 hour, 50 minutes is allocated to this, to the leaders here, and 5 minutes to the people that are coming with matters, then it becomes a big problem. Because ordinarily, you should listen to our problems.
Can we go straight to the question
That
and
is the
I'll answer you on
That is what I am saying here, that we need to change the narratives of always giving all the
Your
hours
question.
to the...
Your question.
This is a contribution.
Okay,
It
so
might
it's a
not
contribution,
necessarily-
okay.
It's an observation. And I want you to be patient.
No, we have a time and I must keep to the time.
I want us to understand that if we are having programs like this, basically and importantly, is to listen to the yearnings of the people. And as long as we have this tradition of not listening to the people, we will continue to do the biggest mistake.
Thank you very much.
And the last
Well
note is,
noted.
that I've been expecting the candidates here to dwell on one thing, to come up with one solution, which is the deterioration of moral values. And as long as there is no solution to cultural values, where a child comes with a phone and the parents don't ask the child, where did you get this phone? And it becomes a minister for communication, he will continue to loot. And so long you do not have a platform to restore lost values, I guarantee you there will be repetition of madness year in, year out. Thank you and God bless us.
Thank you very much. Your contribution is well noted. One thing I will quickly add is that some of the questions that are generated by the moderator were submitted by Nigerians as well. So you are speaking on your own corner, and we are taking account of other people making the presentation, and that's the beauty about democracy. You have your choice, other people have their own choices as well. So thank you very much. Right, just one question from the gentleman in white and the lady in red, and that's it. Your question, please. The gentleman, yeah, and then the lady in red.
Thank you very much. My name is Abdurrahman Muhammad Dalladi, precisely from Accord, the party. I don't want to ask my presidential candidate because I know he knows the answer and is the awaiting president. My question goes to Social Democratic Party, SDP, and it's all about education. Sir, if you are elected into the presidency or in the next election,
yeah,
what are you going to do to end this stupid ASO strike?
Thank you very much. What is he going to do to end
what
it?
are you going to do?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I think that question was already on. Right, the lady in red, so that we can conclude on this part.
Okay, this is a general question. We've heard you people say a lot of things about what you're going to do when elected into office. My question is, what are the modalities you have in place for continuity? How do you intend to continue this thing? Or does it phase out with you when you leave office? And then the second question is, now we know that civil service is corrupt. What if you come into office and you're told, sir, this is not how it's done? Or God, this is how we have been doing it. What will you do? What do you intend to do to curb that corruption? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right. Prof, 1 minute, please.
Okay, it's like I said, we have a dysfunctional system in Nigeria. And if you look at our manifesto, the very first among the most important thing we listed is to ensure that we systemize the economy. And I said here in my first statement that one of the very first executive order I will be given as a president is to make sure that all the MDAs and the 3 tiers of government revolutionize their operation digitally. Once you do that, you begin to strengthen a system, and you have a system that cannot be infiltrated by people. Let's look at organization. If you begin to run an organization and you run it manually, what you have encouraged is huge corruption. But once you start, that is, look at the issue of the beavers. The beavers, we're all happy about the beavers, and we pray, we hope it works. What has happened there is the technology has been introduced into the system. Hence, corruption will be reduced. So that is very key. We need to begin to look at systematizing our economy and all operations we do. First, then secondly, the issue of ASU strike. He said the question is not directed to me, so I will leave it to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks.
Well, let's start with ASU strike. The simple way to stop ASU strike is to look at what ASU has been complaining about and remove them. What are these three things? ASU talks about the way they manage the money. ASU is not supposed to be involved in asking for money. It is not university lecturers who should tell the governing councils how to maintain their school. It's because of failure of the governing council. And the failure of the governing council is because the government is controlling the schools in such a way that they're like parastatals of the Ministry of Education. And those who give money to the politician tend to go and sit on top of it. I've given enough talk on ASU already to show to you that I will make education funding independent of the government and give autonomy to the university. So that will stop it. Then I'll give them autonomy, and then we'll make investment in the universities the way they should be done. Now, the issue of how do you institutionalize things to make them endure, that's what we call leadership. You must be able to have a 20-year plan that inspires and you lock down things in policy. No government can bind its successor, but if you are radical enough, for example, the person who moved first to Abuja was Murtala Mohammed. He only lasted 6 months. But in those 6 months, he said, we will move to Abuja. We have not reversed it since that time. We are in Abuja now. So if government had been as visionary as his own, Abuja would have been better than Dubai because it started before Dubai. So that's the kind of thing you do. You make laws, you make things, and you communicate to the people what your vision is so that they can understand where you are going. Mandela fought against apartheid. Mandela is dead. The apartheid government is not coming back. So a leader can make changes that will last over time if he can inspire people and can get them to buy into it. It becomes the culture of the people. Regarding the civil servants, they can't tell me such nonsense. The reason why I'm elected is to stop the way you have been doing things. So I know them quite enough. I know that they are not serving the people. And in that case, they're also not serving themselves. Because when they retire, they go into penury and problems. So I make sure that I give direction. Don't let anybody deceive you that when they get into government, they got confused. No. When they get into government, they have opportunities to do bad things. So they follow it. It's not people in government who confuses you. The president, when he comes, and the vice president, they can fire everybody. They can throw everybody out and start afresh if they want to. But, excuse me, they just come in and buy into the opportunity to make money for themselves and save money for the next politics. So that is not going to happen in our time.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. I think, let me answer our sister's question. You're talking about continuity. If we are the president, or if I'm the president of Nigeria, so what am I going to do that whatever I establish now will continue? I think it's very easy. Anything that is being digitized is very difficult for you to reverse it. It's just like asking the MDs of all the banks in Nigeria, what are you going to do so that in another 20 years or 50 years, ATM, if I want to withdraw from my account, I will not use my card to withdraw his own money because it's digital. So there are certain things we can do now, and there is nothing anybody can do to reverse it. I think corruption that we are talking about today seems to be intentional. For example, look at a bank. It doesn't matter whom you are. If at the end of the day, the closing hour, and only 20 naira or 200 naira is missing, no manager will say, okay, I will just take it from my pocket. It's okay. I think it's complete now. They have to find out which one among them that made a mistake, who overpaid, and they have to see to the end of it before they can even replace the money or they ask the person to go and pay back. Now, the problem today is because we do not have accountability and nobody is being held responsible for all this nonsense that we're doing. So it's a lot easy. Whatever that goes digital remains forever.
Thank you very much.
Well, I thank everyone, and I just want to make it very clear that I'm a disruptor. I've lived my life disrupting the status quo in the country. When I arrived at university, yes, when I arrived at the University of Lagos, my university used to be called a co for show because they don't participate in protest. By the time we left the university, we had become a revolutionary student union, one of the most revolutionary in Nigeria by the 90s. When I left to go to the US, there was no, I got tired of reading from the media that is so compromised. I set up a media company myself. And when I was arrested in 2019, one of the things the DSS happily told me is that now that we have arrested you, Sahara reporters will die and we can rest. But they discovered that, I wasn't the one operating Sahara reporters. And till today, they didn't find out how I brought a phone into my cell because I'm a disruptor, And many things that I've done in life are things that are there to change the status quo. I'm answering our sister over there who is saying, how do you ensure continuity of your ideas? Ideas that are strong, powerful, and revolutionary cannot be reversed. I'll give you a small example about the French Revolution. The French Revolution, the first one happened in, I think, 1789. And there was an attempt by the Bourbons to come back in 1879 because they thought the people had forgotten. The people rose up again because they said, we are not reversing, we are not going back to the Bourbons. That is where that particular word came from, that the Bourbons have two problems. They don't forget and they don't learn. That's the same way with Nigerian leaders. They don't forget, but they also don't learn. And that is why they will be consumed very soon by the contradictions they created in this society. I believe in all of this that we are doing, that is going to end up in a revolution one day. And all of you can say amen to that.
Thank you very much. And now, Mr. Shawara, please, your closing remark why people should actually vote for you.
After telling you all that we've said here today, after staying awake, this is our second presidential town hall meeting tonight. Today, the other candidates who are not showing up, if you vote for any of these candidates who don't address you, you have a problem. You really have a serious problem. If you vote for these guys who don't talk to you, who have no ideas, who are sick, unwell, and derelict, then the problem is yours. You cannot blame anybody for it again. We have been talking to you now for close to 2 hours. Before we came here, we were in a 3-hour conversation. As we are here, we have not opened a book to, as you say, cheat. We have just spoken directly from our hearts and our minds, and we have demonstrated to you that governance is not rocket science. It is not needed for somebody to be a genius to run Nigeria. In fact, what Nigeria has shown to us in the last 60-something years is that the more foolish the leader is, the more Nigerians love them. Yes. So stop voting for foolish leaders. I am begging you. And if you do, I will beg you to not complain anymore. You have a chance now to redeem yourself and your country. And I can guarantee you that I'm humble enough that even if it is not me, there's somebody in this room that can govern Nigeria better than all, yes,
thank you,
all the other candidates that have been running away from common debates.
Thank you. Rescue movement.
Yes, thank you so much. Again, big thanks to everyone. I know you'll be here forever. But I want to believe that I will be the best candidate in 2023 as the president of Nigeria. And I will tell you why. One, we have 18 presidential candidates. 17 now. All right, thank you. And number one, I happen to be one who is ordained as a pastor for so many years. So which means whatever we are doing now, there's a divine purpose and divine revelation concerning what we are doing. That's number one. Number two, all the 17 presidential candidates, you can as well go and check. It appears that I'm the one who also picked my candidate from Kano in person of Ambassador Mohammed Fage, who came all the way from Kano to support what we're doing today, seated right there. And not even only that, I've once said this before and I'm repeating it again since 2019, that by the grace of God as the president of Nigeria, more than 50% of all the appointments, be it ministerial appointments, DGs, executive secretaries, and ambassadors, and what have you, is coming from our youths. And I will be the first person to implement that in Nigeria. And again, out of that, more than 70% of them will go for those whom we refer to as the children of the poor. I don't believe anyone is a child of the poor person, but because inability to do certain things. Why? Because without them, there will be no future in this country. We will never have a Nigeria. So I'm here to say, for those people that they cannot reckon with, those who have been considered the children of the poor, they are nobody, our youths. I'm saying I'm your president. That more than 50% of all the appointments is yours. And not even only that, and our women, for once, will be highly recognized in this country because to some extent there is equality. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, SDP.
What I can say is that Nigeria has all it takes to make every Nigerian to be as productive as any European country, to be as comfortable as people from UAE, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, any other country that you look up to. And that the Nigerian politics has been divided into two. Those who are maintaining the status quo, who are doing politics so that there will be no change. So they gather together every 4 years when the election comes, they eliminate intelligent people, they black out new ideas, and they sustain themselves in politics before by rigging, by violence, by manipulation through INEC and law enforcement. This year, that equalization is coming, where because election has gone digital in an area in which they have no talent, they are now migrating to, let us do two things. Let us confuse the public by clowning and rigging the media. So they will say front runner, this and that, they will be doing debate, they won't call other people, they will be doing all sorts of things. Secondly, by piling sacks and sacks of money and branded rice and everything to confuse the electorate. So that's one side of the story. The second side of the story are visionary, patriotic Nigerians who believe that even those who are making billions now from criminality, they will make more money legitimately if we allow this country to run well. And we are trying to introduce to you a system whereby you temporarily forget about your needs now. You temporarily forget about gaining anything now. You set for Nigeria a stable government by voting for a government that will enforce your fundamental rights in Chapter 4 and also enforce your socio-economic rights in the fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy in Chapter 2 of the Constitution. So if you do that, you will not need anyone's help anymore. And on a final note, I am 50 years old in Nigeria. Most of the problems we are talking about, poverty, insecurity, unemployment, they don't apply to me. They've never applied to me before. So I'm not fighting for myself. I'm fighting for Nigeria so that the identity of a Nigerian as a poor person is an insult when we are from the richest country in the world. The identity of a Nigerian as a hustler, identity of Nigeria as a migrant, and all of that, we need to stop it. And until now, you could go to God and say, God punish the politicians because they didn't give you opportunity. Now, you cannot go to God and say, God punish them. No, because you have a right to vote them out If you don't vote them out and you don't invest in a new vision, well, you are your own. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Professor Chris, please.
Okay. If countries like Grenada, France, recently we have the United Kingdom, have leaders who are of their youthful age. This is an economy that is 100 times larger than what Nigeria economy is. Then I see no reason why Nigeria cannot again look at it and decide to vote for fresh ideas and men who have proven track record in their private life. You know, I would have said so much if candidates of the APC, PDP, or the affiliates, I call Labour and NNPP, the affiliates are here. But I don't see any of these candidates here as candidates that, I should, as a matter of fact, I see them, I see us as associates because we represent that ideology. So I'm not going to be standing here to say so much, but this is what I would say. Check my track record. I am young. I'm probably the only black man who owns 3 universities in the world. I'm probably the only one in Nigeria privately who has given over 500,000 Nigeria scholarship. At my age, go and check. See, you know, we must as a nation begin to research to know who lead us. The biggest problem we have in Nigeria is that, as maybe the black, we don't try to research our leaders. We only follow what the media says and we follow. The position of a president is someone who wants to manage your country. You must deliberately check to know who are these people. We stand here as a new ideology, and I believe, like this, like Shore said, and I've been talking to, I said, yes, Accord Party, we are going into this race fully, and we are not looking back. Today, Morocco won Portugal. Who tells us we cannot win those who are called the giants? So if given a chance, I believe we will aggressively drive the economy and we'll take Nigeria to the place it ought to be. I'm just tired like you. I was minding my business, building my business, supporting other nations. I have supported Sierra Leone, Togo, Ghana, many nations with provisions of scholarship. But I thought of it, do we continue to leave our economy and the future of our children in the hands of those very ones that don't believe in our country? So I'm just tired of you, and I believe if we begin to look at leadership and we begin to vote for the right candidate, let me say this, you do not lose your vote when you vote for us. You only lose your vote when you vote for a candidate that will end up torment your life. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you indeed. Thank you to Mr. Showore. Thank you, Mr. Asakwe, for being here. Asakwe. Oh, what did they put this? Osakwe. Osakwe. Prince Adebayo. And Professor Chris. And to you, ladies and gentlemen, that have been gracious to us as Nigerians. Nigeria, the most beautiful country, the great iconic black nation in the world. More than 200 million of us, and more than 14 million, 20 million in the diaspora. The 2023 election is really in your hand. Each one of you have access to 1,000 more people. We thank you for your leadership by being here tonight. And really and truly, if you're happy with the way Nigeria is as of today, please vote for the same team. If you're not happy with the way Nigeria is as of today, please vote for alternative team. The peace and joy and happiness of your life depend on you. Your thumbprint decide who you're going to cast your vote for. If you're not able to cast your vote, you have the access and the possibility to tell other people about the candidate you have interacted with, you have read, you have watched, you have listened to. Let's collectively make Nigeria a great nation that we believe she could be, she has been, but could be even greater. Tonight, we have 4 presidential candidates that were able to graciously come and interact with us. Once again, we say thank you very much for being here. I want to thank the supporters, the facilitators, and the Nigerian youth. They can tell me that after. The Nigerian youth for putting this together. It took them months, resources, which some of them do not have and have to use their personal resources to get to this level. And I encourage and invite any and every one of you that can support the Nigerian youth, especially the organization that have been here to put this thing together. So congratulations to you, the Nigerian youth, from 50 downward to 18, because that's the age that is allowed to vote, isn't it? And one thing that please each and every one of you should kindly take on board in your mind is these 4 presidential candidates, they were contributing and interacting and somehow one way or another supporting each other, even though they may disagree. So we, the voters, the followers, must not try to do what we haven't seen them doing, which means abusing each other and fighting. If the leaders that we're trying to emulate and vote for are sitting here comfortably, we, the followers, should do the same. And I hope and I pray that Nigeria would be great again in our lifetime rather than when we're not around. Once again, God bless you. Thank you very much. Dalu, Mungodi, Adupeo, Gogointe, Wambibai, Anipe Adupe Gidigon, Bonse Soroto, Ejo, Elo Dibotuda. Lankarete, maza da mata da suka zanna nan wurin da kuka zo, kun je abubuwan da suka hidi, dan Allah, arewa kuna da ƙarfi, kuna da namba, kuna da yawa. Duk wanda ya magana sai ce maganan arewa. Ni ma na ce ni ma dan arewa ne. Banda wannan ni ma dan can wurin ne. Tsakani na dan Najeriya ne sunana. Na gode kwarai, Allah ya taimake ku, Allah ruwa mana asiri, Allah sa Najeriya ta zama ƙasar da muke son ta zama. Na ji kun ce amin? Mu kwana lafiya wannan wasa, wannan magana mun kawo ta to conclusion. God bless you all.
Ladies.
You see, that's why the trick is always start with Igbo. That's why I say Dalu. You know, okay, in there, Ahambualis I showed you from London. Kachipono, Benemesiao, Chukukadi. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We are about to come to an end.
And thank you very much to the ambassador all the way from Kano for being here. God bless you.
We are about to come to an end for the 2022 presidential debate right now. But before we take the closing remark, which will be taken by the digital imam, we just have a few announcements for us here. Number one, there's going to be a group photograph. Number one, there's going to be a group photograph that will go in this order. One, the candidates that took part in the debate along with organizing committee. Two, the candidates along with the digital imam and the organizing committee. Three, the third photograph, then after that, we'll now have a brief press conference. Okay, only by just the organizers. And so please, we want to, at this juncture, recognize the presence of Alhaji Yahaya Kwabo Fage, the vice presidential candidate of National Rescue Movement that came in all the way from Kano to be part of this. We welcome you, sir. And we also want to recognize the presence of the media, among who are Kaftan Television, that was live and has been live till now. Ben TV also has been live, NNTV, Arise TV, and then TSTV. Once again, we want to thank you all for being part of this occasion, and we also want to say thank you, the moderator, and for everyone. Thank you, the presidential candidate, for taking time out of your tight schedule to be here with us.
A lot of money has been spent on this. Millions have gone when we look at the cost of going live on television and others. Please, like the moderator has said, members of the audience that want to support, you are highly welcome. Therefore, we'll quickly take the closing remark by Sheikh Muhammad Nuru Khalid, also known as the Digital Imam. The closing remark from the Digital Imam, and then we'll quickly take the group photograph. The Digital Imam.
Hello. Hello. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to start with the presidential candidates present here, the moderator, and the organizing committee. I'm happy to stand here to give a very brief closing remarks. Some of you may want to know why this gathering, or some people over there will be asking, why this gathering? The answer is simple. We want to be informed, and we want the youth to take ownership. Ownership of what? Their future, their tomorrow. If you don't take ownership of how to build your own future, you will end up making the same mistake of voting incompetent politicians. We are not here to tell you who to vote in. We are here to help you identify your choice. And you know your choice must be simple, capable, willing, and sacrificed leader who will sacrifice his life for you. We have had enough failure in our country. Nigeria is either to get it right in this coming election, or God forbid, we have no country to be proud of anymore. Because if we make a mistake and tear Nigeria apart, we have ourselves to blame. Therefore, let's start opening our eyes. They have started doing what the Hausa people said. If you have a shame, just cover it with madness. They have failure already, and they want to cover it with a madness. And that madness is using the most valuable thing you have, that is religion. They are using it to cover their own failure. They have done it before, and they will continue doing it. Don't allow anybody to tell you your identity. You have a common ground of identity. You are a Nigerian. You are a human being. Don't allow anybody to change that for you. You are a human being. You are Nigerian. When it comes to election, you need only one identity. That is, you are Nigerian and you are voting for a better Nigeria. You are voting for what? A better Nigeria. I want somebody to say, I will vote for a better Nigeria. I will vote for a better Nigeria. Again. I will vote for a better Nigeria. Again. I will vote for a better Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please, we are going to have the group photograph right now. Immediately, please, the presidential candidate still sits down so that the organizing committee will stand behind. We'll have the group photograph. Then immediately after the group photograph, the national anthem. And so please, as we take the national anthem, then we can now take the press conference.